What's good, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of Land Grant Podcast Network's Power 2 Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jordan. And oh, Lord.
And he's sick. And my name is DJ.
Oof, first of all, don't add sick. Don't put that on. Don't put that on me. My name is Jordan. And as always, I'm here with my co-host, DJ.
Yes. Hi. Hello. Happy Sunday, Monday, whatever. Happy whatever day you're listening to.
Well, they're listening to this on Monday.
Exactly.
And yeah, hopefully.
Happy whatever day it is that you are here with us.
Yeah.
How's it cooking?
It's been all right. It's been a long day, but it was a good day for the most part, I would say. So yeah, it's good. How are you?
And I've sneezed. Hello, can you hear me? Yes, I've sneezed. So that's fantastic. I am lovely. I went to Nashville for a work trip. My camera is out of focus. That's weird. Can we get back in focus? Whatever. Anyways, I went to Nashville for a work trip, so that was cute. I was there for all of 23 hours, so I really got the full effect of Nashville. I did not get that. She has given me so much. She gave me a sinus infection, so that's thrilling. But yeah, I've been chilling. I've been good. I've got my life watching March Madness, and I am now, a lost puppy until the WNBA season starts.
Which is in like 2 weeks.
Just about, yeah. Mid-May.
Crazy.
I know. I really can't believe it. The draft is tomorrow, which we will talk about in a second, but I just can't believe it.
Yeah, crazy. Well, let's jump in. Starting with that one's tough. But,
I mean, we don't have to start with it, but it is news.
Yeah. So unless tough news, good news for those who care. Kent State fired head coach Kenny Burns after he won one game in 2 years. But the thing is, they did not fire him for being a bad coach, because if that was the case, they would have done that in December, not April. There is no reporting as to why they fired him. I don't know if it's going to come out because it's Kent State, and so it's not like a huge school,
big
with a
school,
huge,
yeah,
sort of reporter base. But the rumor has been since the fall that he was gambling.
Oh,
and
fabulous.
They suspended him with pay a couple of weeks ago, and then they fired him. So I don't know for sure if he was gambling, but it takes something for them to fire you in April, especially when going 1-23 wasn't a fireable offense somehow. So he's gone. He's been fired.
Well,
we will see if any news comes out of that or not. But I would imagine it is probably the gambling thing. Hopefully it's not anything worse than that, but the gambling thing, depending on what he was doing, could put him in prison. So it could
be pretty bad. Yeah. Well, when you play stupid games.
Yes. Talking about playing stupid games, Nico Iamaleava is no longer a part of the Tennessee football team. Because
what the heck is that? What happened?
He, and by he, I am going to imagine his family and representatives, determined that he deserved more NIL money and decided to hold some sort of holdout for more NIL money. And Tennessee was basically just like, nobody's bigger than the program.
Right.
We're not doing that. They were already, they already made news for supposedly giving him the biggest NIL contract ever. It was supposed to be $8 million, technically, I guess over 4 years. So it really would have been $6 million, because he probably wasn't going to be there for 4 years if he was as good as they thought. But $8 million when he was in high school, and it became a whole thing, and there was a court case over it and all of this sort of stuff. And it really sort of opened the door to being allowed to for collectives to be able to negotiate with high school players, because before that they weren't able to do that till you got on campus. And then I guess he determined I'm Nico again, and by he I use that loosely because he is still a kid. I'm fairly positive this was parents, agent, he was getting
other people, for sure.
You're 20. Like, what do you need more than? What do you even need $2 million for? What do you need more than that for? Whatever the number, whatever it is, he was trying to get a new contract, and he was holding out, and then he skipped the practice, and Tennessee was basically just like, "This is a bad precedent. We're not doing this." And so now he's going in the transfer portal. I don't know if he's going to get the number that he's looking for. I don't know that he deserves the number that he's looking for.
That's what I was about to say.
And also, like, I mean, he's good, right? I think he's
Yeah, of course.
but he's not great.
He's
And
decent. Like,
someone
plays.
for sure is going to want him, but transferring in the summer is tough because he's also going to want to transfer somewhere
That he'll
where
start.
exactly. So it's just
Mhm.
like you basically have to go somewhere that has enough money and has a, probably, unless you're only wanting money, has a school that you'd want to play for, but then also has a bad enough quarterback that they would
Start you over
allow
them.
you, right. Honestly, I don't think they have the NIL money for it, and I think they're going to give it to the freshmen. But the only place I can think of that would do that, like that fits all the, and there's probably more, but that fits that criteria is Michigan, because I don't think they have any quarterbacks on their roster. I mean, I know they have the freshmen, but like
No
if you could get a
seasoned
guy,
quarterbacks.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know if they have the NIL money because they just gave all of that money to the freshman to get him there because he was going to go to LSU. So we'll see. But play stupid games. You are no longer on the Tennessee football team. So
I love that Tennessee handled it that way because I feel like there's some schools who would allow themselves to be manhandled because they want to have a certain player so bad. So it's like, I appreciate Tennessee standing on business and being like, who do you think you are specifically? Like, who do you think you are? Because it's also like, again, this is no shade to Nico, but like, you are it's giving very much middle of the pack. Like, it's giving very much like, yes, you play well, you don't mess up too much, but also you're not elite, you're not amazing, you're not this top quarterback in college football sort of vibes. Like, you're very much like, we talk about you, you're in the middle, you're good, you play for Tennessee, whatever. But to sit there and be like, nope, I want more money and I'm not going to spring practice. Like, okay, Ezekiel Elliott, like, okay. So
yeah,
I'm here for it. And to your point, yeah, I was actually racking my brain too of like potential programs that he could go to. I mean, at this point, you're going to end up going to a program that could probably afford you, but you're going to be on the bench. And then now what? So
that now what is a good question.
like,
That I don't know the answer to. I'm not sure that he knows the answer to it because I imagine he thought Tennessee would just kind
was
of do
going
what
to
he wanted.
fold. Yep.
Yeah. And then in other news, and
Oh,
pretty sad news, former LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacey was found dead today. It is being said that they think it is an apparent suicide, which I was wondering about initially because the timing just seemed a little off.
yeah.
For those of you who are not aware or don't remember, Kyron Lacey was being indicted because he was accused of driving 90 to 100 plus on a highway, on a road, swerving through traffic and causing a car accident that someone died in, and
And then
then
he drove away.
driving away from the accident. So he was being accused of that, and his grand jury was tomorrow, today, as you're listening to it, April 14th. And so when I saw the news that he died, I was like, that's curious. So it seems as though he may have taken his life, and there could be more to it. There may not be. I don't know. That is not for me to say, but it is, of course, the day before the grand jury for the. I don't know exactly what they were going to charge him with. I don't know if they're going to charge him
Negligent
with murder,
manslaughter, something like that.
negligent manslaughter. Okay, I was going to say I don't know if they're going
Yeah.
to charge him with like murder.
It's manslaughter because murder has to have a motive. Manslaughter does not.
Yeah,
Like, manslaughter basically is like if you kill someone on accident.
right.
So,
But
which is basically what he
negligent,
did
yeah, negligent manslaughter is a step
because he drove off. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
is sad.
Or excuse me, it might be negligent homicide or manslaughter, one of the two. But the negligent was thrown around in there. Either way, it's a very unfortunate situation. It has been unfortunate this entire time, even when the news hit in December or whenever it happened. Like, it's been unfortunate this entire time, but for it to end in this way, it's just very sad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very sad. And you want someone who has a bright future, who's young and whatever, to not have to experience these types of things, but to now know, like, for it to end like this, it just makes it even more sad. Because, like, he was probably going to get indicted, you know, like, realistically, he was going to get indicted. So, you know, either way, he was going to spend some time in prison, or, you know,
Something.
so, yeah.
Yeah. So thoughts out to, you know, his family and
Yeah.
loved ones. He was 24, which is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that sucks. That is depressing. But there's never a good way to transition on something like that. We are going to take a break for the ads, and then when we get back, we are going to hit our 2-minute drill, a quick conversation about the WNBA draft, a quick conversation about the NBA playoffs, and then we are going to get into our power sweep. After a long break for various reasons, we are getting back to our top conference games per conference. We have 2 left. We have SEC this week, and we have Big Ten next week. So we are back to that, and we will be back to you after the ads. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Power 2 podcast. So,
or we talk about the power of sad news. I don't know.
The power of Paige Beckers.
The power of Paige.
The presumed and I mean largely guaranteed obvious number 1 pick in the upcoming WNBA draft, which is tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. The WNBA released their list of invitees to the draft a couple days ago, so it is as follows: Georgia Amore from Kentucky, Sarah Ashley Barker from Alabama, Paige Beckers from UConn, obviously, Sanaya Citron from Notre Dame, Sonia Citron, from Notre Dame, Sanaya Fagan from South Carolina, Kiki Iriafen from USC, Isaiah James from NC State, Dominique Malonga, who is she is international. She's from France. They call her the female Wimby. Anissa Morrow from LSU, Tina Powpow from South Carolina, Sanaya Rivers from NC State, Madison Scott from Ole Miss, Cheyenne Sellers from Maryland, Aja Sivka, also a Slovenian player, and Serena Sandell from Kansas State, and of course, wrapping it all up, Miss Haley Van List from TCU. So for those of you who are unaware, everybody who could potentially get drafted does not get invited to the WNBA draft. It's very much like other drafts. So these are the people who are presumed to go in the first round. And of course, Paige Beckers being the overwhelming, obvious first pick of that. I mean, to be honest, like, not even trying to be funny, even if we weren't like making this assumption, like, she still is the best person on this list. Like, yeah. She's still the best person on this list. Now, what I'm most curious about is who's going to go number 2. A lot of people have assumed that it's going to be Kiki Iriafen, but there's also been a lot of conversation about it being Dominique Malonga instead. So that'll be very, very interesting now that Olivia Miles is not declaring for the draft. But yeah, it's tomorrow. It's sold out.
Yeah, I should really go one year. I'm probably going to.
Yeah, it's in New York.
I think I'm going to go next year, see Big Fo get drafted.
I know. She posted something very cryptic on Instagram yesterday, making it seem like she was about to make an announcement. And I'm like, well, surely she can't be declaring for the draft because it's on Monday. So I don't know what it is. A lot of people are saying it might be a transfer, but I was like, she already said in the press that she's not leaving LSU.
She announced tour dates with Bossman D-Lo.
Oh, cute. Love it.
The first one was today in Boston, and there's only like 4 of them, but she's opening for him on 4 of his tour dates.
So, love that for her.
Yeah.
Love that for her. It's going to be real interesting, sidebar, to see like how she actually manages this rap artist basketball thing when she gets to the W. Like, that's going to be real interesting to see how she manages that. Because
I mean, I feel like it's going to be really easy because, like, The W is shorter. It's a shorter season, and like she can just tour in the fall. You know what I mean?
It's a
Like if she gets to that level, right? Like it's I
yeah.
really don't think it's gonna be that hard.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to be hard. I'm saying it's just going to be interesting because there's nobody else who's doing that. So I'm very interested just to see how she manages it because she also more than likely will be playing an Unrivaled. So there's also that. Like she'll have multiple commitments. Speaking of Unrivaled, Paige apparently signed a 3-year deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
So like and she like that's just to me that's the obvious next thing. So it's just gonna be very interesting to see like how she manages that along with her podcast and all the other things that she's doing. I love to see it. I'm not saying it in a negative way. I just can't wait to see like how she balances it all.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, not that you're saying she won't be fine, but she'll be fine
Yeah. Yeah.
because
No.
like
Yeah. I just want to
she
see.
won't have classes, so like she's gonna have so
Yeah.
much more time to do it
Yeah.
than what
Yeah.
than technically what she has now. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be interesting, and yeah, I think I'm gonna go to that draft. Maybe if I remember when it comes out, because I'd like to see Big Fo get drafted. Olivia Miles will be in that class. There's a bunch of people to be in that
Yes.
class, and that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about briefly that we teased last week. There are a lot of players who
Forwent
did
this
not
draft. Yeah.
go into this draft. And for those of you who care and are wondering why, there are two reasons for that are semi interconnected. I won't even necessarily say that they're interconnected. It's one makes the second reason easier, if that makes sense. So
Yes.
essentially, because the WNBA is up for collective bargaining,
Yep.
and there are whispers, not that there will be a work stoppage, just that the players are willing to do that if their terms are not being met. This is one of the biggest collective bargainings in WNBA history, if not the biggest. One of the main things that they're looking for is revenue share, which I feel like they have to get that because they're about to approve revenue share in college. So like
Yes.
it's already in the professional league. So I don't know what sort of percentage they're going to go after. I imagine maybe the same as the NBA, but essentially, and we've sort of talked about this before, one of the biggest things with the W is they're like, our salaries are too low. We don't have some of these sort of things. We're not getting paid enough money. And one of the things is like, as the league is blowing up, you need to raise our level to that.
With us.
And
Yeah.
so I'm guessing this part. I imagine they're gonna put the travel in there. Like they're like, we want that full time because y'all tried to say it was on a limited basis, and they haven't announced that they're doing that again this year. But then the other thing is really they want the revenue share. They want more money out of the TV contract, and essentially it just makes sense because like if they get 10%, right, whatever the league is valued at, that money goes to the players. And the way it works is essentially like whether it's in like stipend form, because I do think players get some money just sort of out of that, but then also like the money goes to the teams and like salary caps, and so a certain amount of spending has to go to the players in some form out of that revenue share, which is why in other leagues the salary cap goes up every year. That every time the media contract goes up because the players have to receive a certain amount of money, and right now that is not the case with the W. They do not have revenue share, and so all of this. And then the second reason is NIL. So essentially, because players, some are making more in college than they could make in the W, and then also because they're expecting the rev share, they're expecting the collective bargaining, and they're expecting that the salaries will go up after next year. I mean, this is happening in the W as well, where a lot of free agents are only signing 1-year deals
1-year contracts.
because they're like, yeah, I want that contract that's going to come next year, when of course the money's going to have to be better because we are not going to play if we don't get rev share. And so
Period.
a lot
And
of
it's more than
players,
just rev share too. Like there's a
that's
lot of elements of the
yeah,
CBA that's an issue
but
because
that's the biggest one.
it's yes, like it's the part that's the most talked about because of obviously all of like the different like broadcast deals, things like that. But realistically, they were probably going to opt out regardless. They were opting out regardless because of other issues like with family planning and how like it's structured, retirement benefits, things like that. Like there's a lot of issues with the CBA, but the main
Yeah,
part people
but
are talking about, of course, is the rev share.
Yes, but also some of that stuff they're working on. Some of it was changed recently, and other of it I think is just going to be like easier to get. But I think the thing
Yeah,
that they're most that is really potentially going to cause the work stoppage is the revenue share,
salaries and
raising the
revenue
salary
share for
cap,
sure.
and
Yeah,
I don't know how they're going to put this in there, but I imagine they're going to want some sort of, I don't want to say guarantee, but like some sort of threshold where
they
like
want an
certain
equity based
teams,
model,
well, yeah,
basically.
not just that, but we're like like an expectation of teams, right? Where it's like one team can't have a facility and another not. Like
Yeah, that
some
too.
sort of
Yeah,
like equity across the board
standard
where like
baseline. Yeah,
players are getting like certain amenities no matter what, as
yeah.
like you need to hold right the franchises to a standard. And I don't exactly know how they're going to get that in the collective bargaining. Like, not that they can't, I just don't know how you're going to word that and things. But
Yeah.
essentially things like that, and the fact that it's happening at the time that it's happening. um a lot of, Olivia Miles, Az Fudd. Az may be multiple things, but it's probably a part of it too. Az Fudd, there's a bunch of other players who could have left. Big
Flage.
Flaze,
Yeah. Yeah.
and some other notable players did not come,
Sedona,
did not
not
go to the
Sedona,
gym.
wrong person. Lauren Betts
Yeah,
was
Lauren
also
Betts.
eligible.
So
But Lauren also straight up said she wants to play with her sister. But either way, like she could have done it as well. That's what I was mentioning on the last episode was if you have another year of eligibility as a women's basketball player, you should absolutely use it because then you'd be coming in on a lot better, hopefully a lot better conditions unless there's a lockout. Because realistically, they're going to ask for a lot. And the way this league be acting, they're going to try to lowball these women. I can already see it. So that's why I'm like, there may potentially be a lockout. I would hate to see it, but
yeah,
the W
I
is not.
I don't think the W has any ground to stand on this time.
I don't think they do either, but they're run by people who act like they don't want it to be successful. So I just feel like there may be, because there's certain things that should have always been at play, right? That the players are asking for, such as retirement benefits. What the hell you mean that they don't have no retirement benefits? This league has been around for 30 years and they ain't got nothing.
Is
That's
that what it
crazy.
is, or they want better?
They have nothing. Cheryl Swoops was talking about this on Angel Reese's podcast. Like they don't have like any type of health insurance. They don't have anything that they can opt into once they're retired. Once you're retired, they're basically like, okay, good luck. Like that's crazy for any type of labor union, quote unquote. That's crazy. So it's stuff that like is like basic needs that the players have. And if they were already not giving it to them, I don't know. Like I'm hoping that obviously like they just go ahead and just agree to things, but I also know that the WNBA operates in a world that the rest of us do not live in. So we'll just have to see how that goes. The point of the matter is there's a lot of players who could have come into the draft who are not for a myriad of reasons. And this draft is going to be very, very interesting because we know that it could have been certain people, but it's not. Also, it's going to be interesting because these are just the people who were invited to the draft who are going in the first round. I can't wait to see who's going in the second round because second rounders in the WNBA typically are ones who are like the sleepers too. Like, yes, we know the first and second and third picks are going to be like who they are, but the second rounders, they be the sleepers. So I'm very excited about that as well.
For sure.
But we're just gonna have to see. And on to the anyways, that's Monday night. I think it's on ESPN. And yeah, I'll get into what my other thoughts about it on my 2 minute warning. But moving on to the NBA playoffs. You put this on here because I don't care. I
Yeah.
know that the Mavericks have a play-in spot, which is like I don't know how the hell that happened.
Well, so yeah, the NBA playoffs are set. The play-in tournament is the 15th through the 18th, and the playoffs begin April 19th. The seeds are as follows: on the West, the Mavs are 10 and the Kings are 9. They play. And the Grizzlies are 8 and the Warriors are 7. They're playing in the play-in as well. For those of you who don't remember, the winner of the 7-8 game gets the 7 seed. 7-8, you only have to play one game. The loser of the 7-8 then goes to the plays in another bracket against
Hmm.
the winner of the 9-10 for the 8th seed.
Hmm.
Um, so that's how that sort of works.
Just extra
Uh,
games for them to capitalize on.
yes. So then the 1 seed is the Thunder. The 2 seed is the Houston Rockets, which that is crazy. Like we're at a place where the 1
What?
seed is like I feel like
When
we're
did the Houston
getting.
Rockets get so good? I did not know that they was hooping like that.
I mean, that's what happens when you like. It's just they're one of the few teams that it like worked where you like sell everyone for picks, and then they actually also. I mean, the Thunder are like this too. It took the Thunder
Same
much
thing. Yeah,
longer,
yeah,
but they're one of the few where it works where you sell everyone for picks, and then you actually get good players and a
yeah.
good coach, and it sort of works. And
They're humming. Yeah.
it's interesting because like the Thunder are doing it behind like the likely or almost likely MVP candidate, and then like the Rockets, and again, this may be wrong and disrespectful because I don't watch enough basketball, but the Rockets feel like it's just like the power of like friendship and youth. It's just a bunch of
The
like
power of
young, it's
friendship
just
is
like a bunch
sending
of
me.
young guys who are just like balling for whatever reason. I
The
don't
power of
I
friendship.
think they maybe have some stars in the making, but they don't have any sort of like established stars right now. And so we're like obviously the Thunder have
SGA.
SGA. So the 3 seed is the Lakers. Funny enough about the Lakers, I saw a quick anecdote that basically said JJ, his 2 of his goals this year was to win 50 games and secure the 3rd seed or higher. And he did that. And if you
Period.
remember, the Lakers were laughing stocks for hiring JJ.
JJ. I
And
know.
obviously some other things happened. The Mavericks decided to trade Luca and all these other kind of things, but they reached those goals. JJ is proving to be a good coach. He is obviously going to hopefully get better and things like that. But all of the people who just automatically assumed that he was going to be a joke and LeBron hired his friend probably should offer him an apology. The Nuggets are the 4 seed. The Clippers are the 5 seed, and the Minnesota Timberwolves are the 6 seed. On the
Period.
East, the Cavs are the 1 seed. Oh, I should start with the play-in.
Yes.
Miami Heat are 10. The Bulls are 9. And then the Atlanta Hawks are 8, and the Orlando Magic is 7. That is the play-in on the East. And then on the East side, the Cavs are 1. The Celtics are 2. The Knicks are 3. The Pacers are 4. The Bucks are 5, and the Pistons are 6. This
I'm
is
weirdly more excited about the eastern side than the western side. Is that weird? It's been a
uh
long time since I've been excited about the East.
yeah. I don't know. Um I could see that.
It's just interesting. Like the
Yeah.
Cavaliers having one of the best seasons that they've ever had in franchise history
Yep.
is cool. Um, I love the Knicks. I love the Pacers. And it's just so interesting. Like, because I've been such a Western Conference person for so long that like I never watch the East. I'm just like whoever comes out of the East is whoever comes out. So I've been like actually interested in like watching the tournaments these last couple years. Because as some of y'all know, I don't start watching the NBA until now. So
Yes. So that is that. That is the NBA playoff. That's it. I just nothing to talk about. The big question that I have for the playoffs is I just want to see how far the Lakers go, because
same.
the thing with the Lakers is it's just like
They do so much.
LeBron and Luca together, and like whether he becomes like a legendary coach, we'll never know. But JJ is a really smart basketball mind.
Hmm.
So giving LeBron and Luca plus JJ's game planning 7 games, it's they're not going to be easy to beat, especially if they have health, right? And I mean, we've seen Luca carry the Mavs. We've seen LeBron carry teams. Austin Reeves is liable to drop 30 in a game. And then they have
At
other
any point.
pieces
Yep.
as well. And so it's just like they may not have the best team, they may not have the best roster, but when you talk about playoffs, especially where so much of it is experience, it, it's it's just going to be hard to beat LeBron and Luca. And so, like, I don't know that they're going to go to the final. I don't know that they're going to win it, right? Like, I don't know if they have that talented of a team. And I do wonder if they get to, a Thunder or one of those young teams that can sort of run up and
Run them
down the
down.
floor. But
Yeah.
then the other thing that even against those teams is like, LeBron and Luka play in this very similar way where like they control the
They
pace.
can
Like
turn it on.
everyone
Mm-hmm.
has always talked about LeBron controls the pace of the game. Like if he wants the game to be slow, it's going to be slow. And unless they're making a bunch of mistakes and you're getting out in transition, that game is going to be grinded to a halt if that's the way he wants to play. And Luka
Yep.
has that ability as well. So that is definitely something that I'm interested in. But who knows what's going to happen?
I'm also interested in that as well. I said the same thing. I'm like, especially because of the last couple times that OKC and the Lakers have played one another, it's gone both ways. So I'm just kind of like, the Lakers have the ability to absolutely suffocate OKC and knock them out, but then also OKC has the ability to do the same. So if we end up with a 7-game series with them, that's going to be, first of all, in my opinion, probably one of the most entertaining series out of the entire playoffs. First of all, but it'll be fun to watch, that's for sure, because SGA is on a fucking mission. He's on a mission to get this MVP, and honestly, I'm burning it all down if he doesn't get it. That's just my opinion. I am burning it down. I don't want to hear no BS about Nikola Jokic. I don't want to, and I get it. I know Nikola this year became the first player in NBA history to basically be the leader in, I believe it's points per game, assists per game, and maybe blocks per game, something like that. Something rebounds per game. Like he's the top. He's in the top for 3 different statistical categories. It's the first time anybody's ever done that. I understand that. I appreciate that. Please do not make me mad. That's all I'm asking. Do not make me mad. I understand who Nikola Jokic is, but also look at SGA. That's all I'm saying. Just that's all I'm asking. Because I know Giannis is probably in the conversation too. I don't know about nobody else, to be honest. But please, 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 I beg.
Yeah.
I beg.
So we'll see. But
It'll be interesting.
we'll loosely be following the playoffs.
I mean, I will be watching it. This is the only time of the year where like I genuinely check the schedule and catch the games. So I will be watching it, but mostly the Mavericks, obviously. But once the Mavericks get knocked out inevitably, because we will. Love that we somehow managed to get the 10th seed, but like we will get knocked out, and that is okay. Like that is okay. I will probably be following the Lakers after that, and then the Knicks. So we will see.
Yeah. I don't know. And
Aren't you a
the
Cavs fan?
first,
You're not a Cavs fan? I guess you're more just a LeBron fan, really.
yeah, the first like round, I mainly watch like the elimination games. I
Yeah,
just can't watch how many. Hold on, let's do some quick math.
it's about
It
20
is
something games if they go to
one,
all 7.
2, 3, 4, 8. I can't watch 8 7-game series, and I understand
They don't go to 7 though. Yeah, yeah,
but they all at least go to 4. That's
yeah,
32 games right there. Like if everyone
yeah.
was a sweep, that's too much basketball for me.
I
Like
love
it's
basketball
just
though. That's
it's
I'm like,
it's too much basketball for me. I pay attention to the elimination games. I pay attention to the series that are really close.
yeah,
I
yeah,
will throw on some fourth quarters, but like I
yeah.
don't sit down to watch a full game if it is not an elimination game until later in the playoffs.
Oh yes, let's be clear. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
That is what I meant. I'm not watching full game. The only teams that I'm watching full games is the teams that I mentioned. The rest of the
Mhm.
teams, it's pop in, see how it's going. If it looks like it's a close game on the ESPN app, I'll turn it on. Yeah, no. It's not until deeper into the playoffs that I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down and watch these games from the beginning. And realistically, the games that are on TNT where I get to watch inside the NBA, I'm going to watch those games because I love me some Eddie, Chuck, Shaq, and Kenny. Well, not Kenny, but the rest of them.
Yeah. So, and as far as the Cavs thing, I'm not a Cavs fan per se because I'm not a basketball fan per se.
Right.
But I do always root for the Cavs, being from Northeast Ohio. Also,
Right.
they have Donovan Mitchell, who is the
Hello.
second coming of my favorite basketball player. Who again, it is not LeBron. My favorite basketball player is actually D Wade.
Oh, period.
But you always say this like it's a surprise every time I say this, like you forget, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. So
that you double down on it, that you make sure people know that your favorite player is not LeBron.
Yeah, like love LeBron, but my favorite basketball player is actually Dwayne Wade. So I very much root for the Cavs. Would very much love for them to win it. I actually told Dante that if the Cavs win, I may come home for the parade.
Period.
I'm not going to the parade. To be
You'll
clear,
just be around, right?
I just want to be in the city to see how they act when they win the championship without LeBron, and I think they're second ever. But yeah, so that's basketball. Back to football.
Come on, football.
In our power sweep, we, as mentioned, are going to give you 10 games to watch, 10 things that you can sort of pay attention to this coming season. We are back after a multi-week break for various reasons, but we are in the
March
SEC. Well, I mean, also I was on vacation.
Yes, you were out there, shaking your ass in New Orleans. Yep.
Please. No.
I just swear.
Was not doing that.
No, he was not. It was very wholesome. You were eating beignets and drinking coffee and, having some crab legs. Anyways.
It's hilarious because I didn't do any of that. But
you didn't get a beignet?
Well, so we actually didn't get a beignet this time, but like it's not my first time being there. It just kind of
my bad. Yeah.
Schedule. I don't drink coffee, and I don't eat. I'm pretty allergic to shellfish, so it's hilarious. The 4 things that you mentioned me doing down there, I did none of them, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. I was there. I was having a good time.
I don't know you at all. I don't think I knew. I never knew about the shellfish allergy. I never knew about that.
Yeah,
that's really. I hate that for you. I am so sorry that you don't get to experience shrimp. Anyways,
fine by me. SEC conference games. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
I don't have much to say about them. Honestly, I had a hard time picking. And that's saying a lot. Because as you guys know, the SEC is the best conference to ever exist in the history of mankind, according to ESPN. So I was kind of like, I don't want to do this whole let me just pick the ranked games. But then I ended up doing that because most of these teams are ranked or will be most likely. But starting from the bottom, I had to pick this game being a Texan. I feel like I am always going to recommend this game, even if it is booty cheeks and dust. And that is going to be Texas A&M. We went many, 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 many years without this game. And I am happy that it is back. I'm not rooting for either team, but I love that we get the concept back.
Yes. For me, I have South Carolina Ole Miss. I just think both of these teams are interesting, and I think they're both being, as always, overrated going into this season. Right. I'm just very interested in the South Carolina experience. They have a pretty solid coach. They have Lenore Seller, who everyone is acting like is the best quarterback in the world. I disagree with that, but we shall see. They have, I can't think of his name right now because he should have transferred to Ohio State. He should have went to Ohio State in the beginning, but they have the guy, he's a true sophomore who is going to be one of the best pass rushers in the country. And if these quarterbacks don't step it up, he has a chance to be the number 1 pick in 2027. Like he's on track to be that good as long as he keeps developing, stays out of trouble, all of those sort of things. Not implying that he's been getting in trouble, but that is important.
Yeah, right.
Stay out of trouble. But yeah, so South Carolina, Ole Miss.
Unfortunately, we are going to have to pause the show. Give me 1 second.
What is your next game?
Okay, so my next game is actually the game to me, one of the games of the years last year, and that was Alabama versus Vanderbilt. I just have to see this happen. I just have to see it again. I want to see it again. I want to see if Vandy can do it again.
Yeah, that is a great one. The next one for me is Alabama LSU. LSU is not going to continue to allow for Brian Kelly to not win a lot of games, especially when you see what he didn't do with Jaden Daniels, and then you see what Jaden Daniels immediately did, and he had all these wide receivers and all these sort of things. And so also Alabama had a bad year last year. They were very upset with their coach. So if he has 2 bad years, So I think this is gonna. I always say this, but for this game in particular, I wish I would have put the date for this one, because I feel like
It's
this is
fairly
a
early,
game.
isn't it?
No, I think this one is later, and I think that this. I could be wrong about that. I think it's later, and if it's
Maybe
later,
like
I
week
feel like
7.
this is a game where people. Oh, it's week 11. It is
Oh,
November 8th. So this is a game where like loser could get fired depending on how their season is
how
going.
the
But like
season's going. Yeah,
this is
yeah.
like sort of an anxiety inducing game if they're not having the season that people are projecting. And I will all but guarantee one of them is not going to have the season that people are projecting. I will tell you that right
I
now.
feel like it's gonna be LSU too. I ain't trying to be funny. I feel like it's gonna be LSU.
I can't tell you which one, but it's going to be one.
It's I don't know. Speaking of LSU, that's my next game too. Is LSU Ole Miss. I picked it more for Ole Miss. I feel like if Ole Miss gets the dub, Ole Miss is going to be in a different part of it. Is going to be in a different conversation if this happens. Because I feel like they were always on the edge of like being one of those good SEC teams that just didn't get talked about enough. But if they beat LSU, that's how I feel.
Fair enough. My next game is Texas Georgia. They gave
Of
us some
course,
they gave us some bangers last year.
they sure did.
And so are they going to do it again?
Do it again.
Also, this is more off-season content, but I am not convinced that uh, I'm not convinced that Texas is going to be as good as people think they're going to be. I am. I think that they lost more than people are willing to admit that they lost.
Hmm.
And so I'm not sure if they'll be good or not. I think a lot of the Texas being good is largely based around um, the thought that Arch Manning is going to
It's
be a
gonna be
really good
good.
quarterback, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure that he's going to be a really good quarterback. So I think that this is going to be an interesting game because, like, right, like Texas is supposed to be on their way up. They're one of two, depending on who you ask, title favorites. Georgia had a
Hmm.
quote unquote down year for them, and they
Hmm.
haven't been like rushing for best team in the nation. They're the favorite to win, right? Like, again, I am not don't misquote me. I am not saying that Georgia is not good. I'm saying that when you win back-to-back titles and you think you're going to be the next Alabama and then you are not that, there starts to be some like, are they going to get back to
Discourse.
that?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So and I mean they gave us decent games last year. So yeah.
The Texas Georgia games were very, very fun. Speaking of Georgia, I chose Alabama Georgia, and I feel like I don't need to explain why I chose Alabama Georgia. It's kind of obvious. Like it's Bama versus Georgia. I feel like that's always the game to watch. Um, considering that they are the two SEC powerhouse programs. So
Yes. My next game is Texas, Florida.
come on, Texas.
Insert everything that I said about Texas already, and then the thing with Florida is like Florida like played a freshman mid year, and
Uh huh.
he was pretty good, and so DJ Lagway, and so I'm
Yeah.
just interested in what Florida has to offer. Also, Florida's schedule is really hard, and it was really hard last year, and it's essentially the same schedule. They just flipped home and
Hmm.
away. So like this is the second year of like a really tough schedule. But if the quarterback is who they think he is, I don't
They
think
could
they're
push
gonna
through.
really contend. But like if they win 8 games on their schedule, that's a hell of a year, right? And it really builds towards next year when many people thought that the coach was gonna get fired last year. And if the starting quarterback didn't get injured and the freshmen come in and play pretty well, the coach may have gotten fired. So and everything I've already said about Texas and then insert, Florida.
I chose Georgia Tennessee as another game. Really more so on the Tennessee side. Tennessee is not who, in my opinion, Tennessee was not who everybody kept saying Tennessee was last year. And I feel like the real gauge of whether or not Tennessee is who they say they are is when they play Georgia. Because if I'm not mistaken, they played Georgia fairly early. in the season. I think it's like week 5 or no, that's Bama, Georgia. Maybe week 4. Either way, they play them fairly early, and I feel like that's going to be kind of like the litmus test of like where Tennessee is.
Yes. And it'll be interesting because who's their quarterback?
And who is their quarterback? Because it's apparently now it's not Nico. So really, Tennessee is just going to be an interesting team to watch in general. Because I picked that game obviously before Nico decided not to show up to spring practice. So we just don't have to see. And Georgia's interesting too, right? Because they don't have Carson Beck anymore. They've got whoever. I don't know who their quarterback is. So Georgia's just going to be a team to watch in general.
Yes. My last one is Florida LSU. I should have spread these out a little bit. I didn't realize that I had so many teams.
There's all these through lines. Apparently, we only care about Alabama, Texas, and LSU.
No, I have Florida twice.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Alabama, Texas, Florida.
Yeah, and LSU. You know, so Florida LSU. So insert everything that I said about Florida. Insert everything that I said about LSU, and then add in the fact that this game is the 3rd week of the season.
Ooh.
So, and for LSU specifically, they play Clemson week 1. So if LSU
I didn't even notice that.
So if LSU starts 1-2 with losses to Clemson and Florida,
trash.
And then they still have Ole Miss, South Carolina, Vandy, which crazy that we're putting Vandy in this category. I
know.
Texas A&M, Alabama, and then Oklahoma on their schedule. There's going to be some conversation about that coach. If Florida in their 3rd week after their coach was going to get fired, they come in and they beat LSU sophomore. With their superstar sophomore,
we might have to call him the coach saving quarterback.
You know, although, ooh, gosh, man, I know I said it was hard, but like seeing it again, this schedule is really hard. There's a bye game in between, but they play LSU. They play at LSU, at Miami, bye week, Texas A&M. That's 4 straight games. Again, there's a bye week, but that's 4 straight games for them, and it's all in September and October. So like they could be 2-4, which again, I don't know that they're going to be, but they could be 2-4 before middle of October because of the teams that they're playing.
Well, isn't this going to be just so much fun?
Yeah, and then they still have to play Georgia, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. So, you know, Florida was not given a great schedule by the SEC.
But also with the SEC, one thing I can say, I know I talk so much shit about the SEC, but a lot of these teams, and especially with a lot of the movement and all that other stuff, it really is any given Saturday with the SEC specifically. It really, really is. I mean, Vanderbilt is a testament to that. So, you know, which I know that that's the case in all of college football, but specifically with the SEC, like, it seems a lot more evenly matched with a lot of these teams, especially with what's going on.
One could say,
yes.
So as we wrap up this show with our 2-minute warning, I will just say one thing very briefly. And I will withhold my full comments, but there are there's a movie and a show where 2 of the greatest female actresses of all time are playing presidents. One of them is a TV show called Zero Day, and Angela Bassett is the president.
Oh, period.
And it has a bunch of other people in it whose names I'm going to forget, but it doesn't matter. It's a pretty good show. It's as the thing that I talk about all the time. It's one of those, this was clearly meant to be a short series. It's 8 episodes. There shouldn't be a season 2 sort of thing. It is really good. It's essentially about this task force that was created because there was a major cyber attack against the United States.
Oh, and the black woman was president, and that can only happen in fantasy land, apparently.
The second one, Viola Davis, is president.
Oh, is it the movie on Prime? That new action movie? I am going to watch that tonight.
And personally, I just must say, Viola Davis is my favorite actress of all time. You give her an action role, I had to watch it. I had to
I
watch
can't
it.
wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it.
It's a solid movie. It's an action movie, right? Like no, like
Yeah.
unless you're just like love action for whatever reason, like no action movie you're gonna watch, you're gonna be like, that's the greatest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Like they don't put
Unless
enough.
it's Fast and Furious. Oh my God, relax. I'm playing. I'm kidding.
They don't put enough in that because that's not the purpose, right? There's not a whole lot
Right.
of plot and thriller and these sort of things. Like action movies are good, so it is a good movie. It's not the greatest movie you've ever seen, but I mean freaking Viola
It's
Davis is
Viola
kicking people's
Davis.
ass. Like what are we talking about?
Come on. It's
Like,
Viola Davis with an automatic rifle. I'm watching it. Like,
yeah, I mean,
what?
I watched it immediately. I saw it on TikTok and I watched it that day. Like, I was like, "What are you talking about? Viola Davis
Literally,
with a
yes.
kicking ass? What? Please."
Period.
So, if you need something to watch, G20. It's a movie on Amazon Prime. 0 Day is a TV show on Netflix.
Netflix is nuts. First of all, okay. So my initial 2-minute warning was like negative, and now I don't want to do it. Gosh. Okay, I'll just do it. Basically, so as we mentioned, the WNBA draft is tomorrow, and there has been absolutely no social media content about it at all, which I just find to be such a glaring problem. Like, we got all this content last year with girls in orange sweatshirts, and they were at the Empire State Building, and they was getting gifting and all this other stuff, and they were following them around all over the place, and we got freaking videos and content and pictures and everything all day. And now the WNBA draft is tomorrow, and all we've gotten is a video of Sanaya Fagan showing up and Haley Van List showing up, and that's it. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What is going on?
That's all.
That's all.
Don't know.
I just feel like if you know that the league is growing, if you know that people are interested, if you know that you have a lot of eyes, take advantage of that. Also, like realistically, like we live in a world where nobody gives a crap unless it's on social media. So to miss an opportunity like this right before the draft, but you want people to view, you want people to tune in, you want people to be invested. And this is why I said what I said about the WNBA CBA, because I'm just kind of like, the WNBA really be operating like they don't want success. Like, I don't know what that's about, but whatevs. Who am I?
Who are we? Just two people with a microphone. As always, thank you for listening. We will be back next week with news from the WNBA draft.
Oh,
we
very
will
that. Yes.
Also have our last and final, which is the same thing, of course. Our last and final 10 games to watch in the Big Ten. 10 things in the Big Ten, No, just playing. 10 things in the Big Ten.
You're so annoying.
Next week. As always, thank you for listening. We will see you in 7 days.